Chess is about having fun. That's right, Daniel. Speaking of having fun, and Daniel. Beat Daniel again. Woo! You want to come in here, Daniel? Get Daniel in there. I'm not gonna make fun of you. I might make fun of you if you don't come in here. And then title taken away. Oops. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let me add that. I just forgot to add it. White title. There you go. I also accidentally added my game with Brian as a win for me, so I'm getting in the shower. That's hot. Without chat? How are you in the Twitch chat right now, then? Okay, so I guess we'll look at this game without Daniel. Do I have, like, a graph? Like, a display for the graph? I don't think I do. Let me make one. Just so I can switch it on and off to show. Why is it not? But now. Does it work now? I'm having difficulties. There we go. I found it. So this was the graph for the Chris Motley game. There's that. And then this is the graph for my Daniel game. I was black. So. Pretty good. I did play better against you than Chris Motley. That's... Daniel... Daniel was saying... Daniel... We like to joke that we're gonna play 1g4 against each other. So Daniel, like, picked up the G pawn and, like, went like this, and then set it down on G3. But, so his reasoning was that since Brian Wall beat me with one knight a3 very easily, and Daniel's as good as Brian, I guess, and I just suck, and that's why I lost to Brian's, like, you know, I just suck, and you could play... Basically, his thought process was, you can play anything against me and still win. That was his thinking, and that didn't happen. So okay, he's fianchettoing both of his bishops. I castle, knight h3, and then I'm just playing normal moves, putting pawns in the center. He's putting knights on the rim. He's playing f4. Okay, so I'm better. I'm just better. And I decided to play b5, which Daniel said was bad, but I don't agree. The only reason b5 would be bad would be if it failed tactically, which it doesn't. So b5 is good. I am just taking space. What is he going to do about it? So he plays c4. And here, I played e6 because, like, I was just trying to be solid. The best move here is actually, like... It makes sense eventually, but at first it's like, I don't get it. So first let's establish the problem with rook b8. If I play rook b8 right now, you can just play bishop takes f6 and knight c3. And this position is very good for white. If I take on a1 and, like, okay, this is a huge threat, the only way to defend it is f6, then he plays knight e4. And I am not doing well here. So now that we understand that, that will make sense why knight d4 is good. So knight d4, the little idea is that, okay, bishop can't take on f6 now. We're blocking that from happening. And if he just plays e3, now we play rook b8. And if he takes here, oh, I didn't write this part down. Well, then his pawn structure is just stupid. And I have a very strong bishop, unopposed dark squared bishop. And if he plays something like bishop c3, I take on c4. And if he takes my knight, his bishop is trapped. And I thought this was very funny, because I've never seen a piece get trapped quite like this before. But yeah, this would be winning for me. I didn't see any of this. But that is, I just thought that was a cool looking piece trap. So that's why knight d4. It's so he can't take on f6. He probably should still take on f6 after e6. He could probably still do this, maybe. And then play knight c3, and it would likely transpose in some way. So, okay, that's why knight d4 is good. But I was just trying to play solid chess. He takes, which is bad. He needs to either play knight c3 or maybe take on f6. But he's a master, so he relieves the tension, of course. Now what is my problem? I don't have any. He develops a piece, I develop a piece. And then he plays bishop a3. Which which might be good if it weren't for my move. Yeah, and I told him I thought that was bad, and he disagreed. He thought he was doing just fine here. Thought he was getting play. I didn't agree, but okay, I played knight b4. So this move forced my knight to a good square, and he got in his own way, so he can't even kick it out. So I was happy here. And he plays rook c1, and I'm already plus 2.5 here. So here, you know, you should probably be considering 2 moves, but with the same idea. Rook e8 and bishop a6 possibly. Because, okay, the only way to make this bishop a3 look good is if somehow he gets play against my rook on f8. So it makes sense to get the rook out of the way. And if we can do it with a tempo, I thought that would be very good. So I didn't think the move order mattered so much. So I played bishop a6 first, which is quite bad, because it allows queen a4. And now, I mean, he's trying to take knight, take bishop. And I have to play something like rook b6 or queen d6 to defend that. And now he is getting play. I allowed a piece to get active, so this is not very good. It said blunder. I'm still, like, probably a little better here. But it's just because my position was so great before this. So I should play rook e8 and then possibly bishop a6, depending on what he does. If you play something like rook e1, I can play a5. You know, I don't have to play this move. Do something like this. Is what computer gives. What? I don't know. I was just like, okay, I want to put my rook on e8 with a tempo. And he did not play this move. He put the knight there. He was half right. And he's attacking a piece, or I mean a pawn, but he just made bishop a6 look very good with that move, because he undefended e2. So now rook e8 makes a lot of sense. And he has to waste a move to defend this, and now I just play c4, and now the knight, why is the knight here? My pieces are very active and happy. I have more space. What more could I ask for? Okay, now he plays knight c5, and I thought for a little while here about bishop c8, because the knight is very close to being trapped. I mean, he has d4 as a resource, but if he has to play that, it's not good. I thought if I played bishop c8, that would allow this again, but I didn't realize that after a5, it kind of shuts down anything he would. What is the plan now after a5? Find a move for white that's like decent. Can't be done. I mean, if he has to take here, that's awful. I'm gonna click show threat. That's how I have a lot of good moves. I can't decide what the threat is. The threat is either here or here. And I'm +4 here. But I was like, I don't know how to correctly evaluate these positions. My move is also good, it's just not quite as good. I play queen a5 just because I don't want him to develop his pieces. So I'm like forcing a bunch of trades, but at the same time I'm activating a lot of stuff. I'm preparing the rooks to double and invade on the second rank, possibly. Or just play rook a4. And now he plays queen c2, which is a mistake because of my move. What would you play here as black? There's 2 moves that are good. At least, I mean, there's more than 2 moves that are good. I will accept 2 moves, though. Rook e, b8. Natural. Rook a4 is good. Rook a4 is probably best. So, the reason I didn't want to play rook e to b8 is because, okay, like, how is that taking advantage of what he did? He can just play rook b1 now. I mean, I'm still much better, but, no, so I came up with queen b6, and it's doing many different things, this move. Number 1, I am looking at the knight on f2, with possible ideas like this. Number 2, I am supporting the rook to come into this square. And number 3, I'm supporting this rook to just triple and just take over and take all his pawns. Maybe even getting out of the way of this if that's necessary at some point. And can anyone tell me the problem with rook b1 in this position? What is the difference between the rook being here and the queen being here supporting this rook? This was the biggest point of queen b6, and he did not realize what it was. Dennis, you already knew that, didn't you? Yeah, rook takes e2 is puzzle rush. Now that my rook is not on b8, it's on e8 still. Rook takes a2 is very strong because, okay, if he takes, I have this, and if he takes here, I have this. It's with check, and then I take the rook. So also I probably actually do this, to be honest. But, so that's why he has to take here. I take rook with check, bishop f1. Now I play knight e4 with lots of threats. Not looking good for Daniel. I trade pieces, and I decide to just trade the queens because why not? I'm just completely winning. If he trades queens, I'm just gonna pick up a pawn and promote. This bishop is very, very bad. So he tries to get some play, but this allows bishop d4, which is brutal. So I'm defending this pawn, not that it matters. I am attacking the rook, and now if he plays something like rook e2, queen c1, the bishop is trapped. And he's gonna get checkmated probably at some point. So can't play rook e2. So what do? If you go here, I take. So he decides to throw queen e8 check in because now when he plays rook f3, he can at least defend for one move. But then I would have rook b2. So I guess he saw that and decided to play king h3. But I still play rook b2, and that is a pretty huge threat of checkmating him like this or like this. This move is forced, I think. Takey. He pushed pawn because he wants to checkmate me. But I push pawn, and then he go here, and I push pawn, because he cannot go here, he cannot go here. Take you, promote. And then he resigned. And that was that game. So that's how you beat your brother when they play stupid openings. Because they think that you're bad, that you can play anything you want and still win. There you go. Right, Daniel?